Hey gang, it's Tom Zeeb with Traction Real Estate Mentors, and in this quick video, I want to introduce you to another student success story, Darrin Speck. Keep it rolling and stay tuned. So I'm here with one of my students, Darrin Speck, and we want to take you through a case study specifically focused on how what I've taught you in negotiation has really paid off for you. So tell us about your deal that you got. It was a HUD property, right?
So yeah, it was a foreclosed property out in the mountains of far away from here, and believe it or not, I didn't really do much marketing. I just kept a close eye on the MLS, and it was on the market for a day, and I said, "This is the one I want. I know it's profitable. I know I can do this." So I did it. So put the offer in. Everything looked good, only to find out there's a competing offer. And I said, "Uh-oh, what am I going to do?" I panicked. So I was like, "Okay, I know I can handle this." So I called Tom. Tom was very gracious, give me plenty of advice, and basically he said, "Hey, look, is it worth it? What are you willing to pay? Can you go up? Can you go down? What can you do?" And he gave me all the proper advice that I needed, and I knew that there was plenty of margin in the property since I'm a renovator and I know how to estimate costs well. So I was willing to pay a little bit extra. So his fine advice was, well, then just do that little bit extra, couch it in the terms that are suitable for you. So we did, and we only went up $350 extra. But that $350 is all it took to secure the deal.
So for a whopping slight increase of $350, you managed to lock down the property.
Absolutely.
Give us some of the numbers on this, Darrin. What do you think it's going to?
So yeah, absolutely.
What did you get it for? What are you putting into it?
We purchased it for $70,350.
Right,
so $70,350. The nice thing, the comps are pretty easy because when the house sold in good condition 6 years ago, it sold for $160,000. So I already knew what the potential was there.
Yeah.
So the purchase price was a no-brainer. Needs about $25,000 put into it. And with the way the market is and where everything's going, I realistically see easily 160, probably pushing 180, 190.
Got it. So that's a very handsome profit margin on that. Good. And it was just a matter of understanding negotiation. I mean, your frustration before was
it was a little it was a little atypical in that I wasn't dealing with a person, but rather a larger bank.
Yes.
But the principles were the same.
The principles of negotiation applied to the entity as much as they do to an individual seller.
Absolutely, which was a surprise to me, but it paid off and it worked.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Now, I want to mention this because I find it amusing. I always say, you never make money faster than when you're negotiating, which is the reason why I teach it so much at the Rapid Cash Generation Bootcamp. And make a big, I tend to make a big stink about the fact that it's going to improve your real estate business, but it improves all walks of life. So you told me that you've also used the negotiation skills I've taught you to flip something else. What else do you flip, Darrin?
Tom, I have a passion for motorcycles. And amazingly, my wife is cool with it. So at first she wasn't, but I'm like, I know I can make money on this. And I would go from I'd buy bikes for $300. These bikes would be listed for $1,000, and you know what to look for. It's no different. They're motivated sellers. They need to get rid of this motorcycle. So you show up, and it's a lot easier when you show up with cash in your hand. Yep. And you're a cash buyer, and you say, hey, I would pull the same thing. Is that the best you can do? It's just one of the kind of taglines that you learn early on. Right. And they hem and haw, and then you say, look, I can take care of your problem is you need to get rid of your motorcycle. I don't have to buy this, but I can take this off your hands.
So identifying the problem.
Absolutely.
Telling them how you are the solution to the problem, and then being the solution, basically pulling out cash and being ready to go.
So $300 motorcycle, put $200 into it, sell it for $1,800. So the principles are the same no matter what.
So as long as you're not physically flipping the motorcycle,
you don't want to do that.
That's why I said he's flipping motorcycles, gang. I meant price wise. And how many times a year do you do that?
Well, I used to do it easily 5 times a year, maybe a little more.
5 times a year, $1,200 a pop that's a good $6,000 a year.
I did one bike I bought for $2,000. It was a nicer bike. I put $200 into it and sold it for $4,000. So
not bad either.
Real estate, motorcycles, cars. I'm sure you can do it with anything, but the key, it really was negotiation, because you couldn't make the money if you went ahead and took their asking price.
No, you have to negotiate them down, and then when you turn around and sell it, you negotiate them up.
Yeah, it's very easy. It's not as hard. I was terrified of this before. This was something I was not good at, and it's really made all avenues of my life a lot easier.
Very cool. One of the things, again, what I've always trained is you're negotiating all the time, like it or not. If you have a spouse or a loved one, a wife, definitely, right? Wife, husband, boyfriend, girlfriend, etc. Kids, co-workers, siblings. You're negotiating all the time, gang. Whether you like it or not, you might as well learn to get good at it. And it's not something they teach in school. Nobody seems to know this right out of the gate. So you learn how to do it,
and then you learn it's not a bad word.
No,
I really was terrified of this, and it's nothing to be afraid of.
Before I trained you, you were terrified of negotiation.
Yes.
And now I'm
comfortable with it.
Comfortable with it. And this is probably an important point. You hinted at it. Your wife doesn't mind that you're riding a new bike all the time because
she
you're
knows,
flipping enough to make good money.
And that's the great thing about the mics is I get to enjoy them for a little bit before I get to sell them.
Yeah, well, very cool. So, folks, what's it going to be for you? We'll find out. You flip motorcycles, flip houses, use the skills for all walks of life. One of my favorite things that I've been doing at the Rapid Cash Generator Bootcamp is I ask people for their stories when we start to talk about negotiation. And we start off, there's two types of stories. The first one, I say, I don't want to hear about real estate at all. I want to hear exactly those kinds of stories. Let's hear about the motorbikes being flipped. Let's hear about the contracts negotiated, government contracts, contractor contracts, people renegotiating salaries with their bosses, and we get tons of success stories. Then I say, wonderful, now let's talk real estate. So we talk about the real estate deals that got done and how much money was made from that negotiation process. It's a beautiful thing. Absolutely. Well, good work, man. I'm going to give you a high five.
Tom, appreciate it.
No problem. Thanks, Darrin. Appreciate it. And folks, Darrin Speck, Tom Zeeb, signing off.